We're finally back, boys, with an introduction to Classic WoW. My overall experiences so far, how many times I've re-rolled characters already, because I definitely have an alt problem, a serious problem, and where we're going to go with this channel from here. I'll be honest with you guys, the launch of WoW Classic was one of the most exciting and nostalgic experiences I've had in many, many years. My friends and I all booked at least 4 days off work so we could all log on together and re-experience this incredible journey as a group. And after around 100 hours back in the world of Warcraft, I'm ready to share some of my experiences with you guys. So strap yourselves in and enjoy. So first things first, everybody, I'd like to show you all how to set up your UI using the Classic WoW interface and also using the Bartender add-on if you're interested in sprucing things up a little bit from the old school UI to make things a little bit cleaner, neater, and a little simpler. So step by step, the very first things I do every time I make a new character in Classic WoW is hit the escape button or the menu down here, and we're going to go to interface. Here, we're going to click auto loot. This way, whenever you click on a mob, you will automatically pick up the items on it. It's just going to save you a lot of clicks and a lot of time unless you like to pick up the items one by one. Next things up, guys, you're going to come on over to the combat screen here, and I like to enable floating combat text just to see certain things when I'm in the middle of fighting, because we all know I have a problem with tunnel visioning. And after finishing with the combat screen, we'll go over to display. So here, guys, unless it's already checked for you, show helm, show cloak, you can definitely turn those off without transmogging, because there is no transmog. Welcome to Classic, bitch. Next up, you're going to want to hit instant quest text. So for this one, guys, it just makes them, instead of reading it out, now if you really want to be immersed, the characters that you go to for quests will slowly read out their quest text, or you can have it pop up instantly, and for me, it's a huge one. Also, guys, on top of that, we'll go to status text right here, and I like to put it to numeric value so I can see exactly what I'm looking at when I'm playing my character. Next up, we're going to social. I like to turn the profanity filter off. If you're going to shit talk me, I want to hear it, guys. So with that said, I do like to turn off the profanity filter. And from there, that's really all there is in here. There's one thing I will suggest to you. It seems to be a huge problem with gold spamming. So if you guys get invites to gold channels, right here in the social pane, block chat channel invites, that's going to stop those pesky invite pop-ups that tell you to go buy gold, okay? Next up, we're going to action bars. Now here is where you could maybe do things a little bit differently from me, but I personally like to check bottom left, bottom right, and show right number 2. And you will see here, always show action bars. The minute I click OK on here, it is going to immediately pop up bars all around my screen. I'll just do that for you now. Oh, maybe it didn't want to work. That's probably because I have Bartender. So not 100% sure why that wouldn't work there, but if I drag a spell, you can clearly see now I've got 2 right-hand bars here. This is great for putting in your buff spells, food, items, and things like that you're going to use once in a while. And you can save the majority of these bars down here for your spells and all of the other action items you need to use on a regular basis. And from there, you can also go back into keybinds and go through your different bars by just going through multi-action bar here, and you can keybind all of the different keys as needed. But to get back on track there, guys, so we've got all the action bars. I do like to hit lock action bars and show action bars always. Because I have Bartender installed, it's not showing them right now. There's probably a little bit of an overlay or, you know, just some kind of overlap, but you guys get the point. Now, I also like to show numbers for cooldowns. This allows me to see when the cooldown is ending sooner or later. Moving on to names, I always like to show my name. Sometimes I turn this one off. NPC names are useful for people who are super casual to World of Warcraft Classic, like I used to be. So NPC names might be a great way for you to find different people you're looking for. Always showing nameplates is a nice one as well, because it shows plates above their head. And that's really about it for the name section. Now in camera, I personally like to max camera distance. That way, I'll show you outside. You can zoom out really far. You can see where all the mobs are around you, and it's easier to find certain single boss monsters that you have to kill. Other than that, guys, in terms of mouse and accessibility, there's nothing else here that I really like to mess around with. Okay, and really quickly, if you do decide to download any additional quality of life add-ons as I have, next, for me, basically, I use Bartender over the old school UI. So you're going to hit /BT4, hit enter. This is going to bring you to this screen here. Now, Generally, your screen starts like this. If you hit the lock button, you'll see everything highlight. So things like the pet bar, I don't need it because I'm a warrior. I'm not going to need multiple bars here as well, so I'm going to get rid of bar number 6 also. Next thing, I'll go down to the Blizzard art bar. That is the standard UI you get here, and we're going to turn that off, guys. That's going to immediately clear up space on our menu. Let's go ahead and move the bag bar over like I always do to the right-hand side. Doesn't lock up quite as nicely as it does on Retail WoW, but we're going to leave it like that for now. So let's move both of our main attack bars up here. We'll get rid of the reputation bar. And that said, now we've got our bars in place as well. Stack them on top of each other. Bring our stance bar over. Unlock the chat window. Make it as small as humanly possible. Bring it down to the corner here. If we move this frame by unlocking it, we can now bring our target frames down as well. And just like that, you've got 1,000 times cleaner interface. And this is the way I like to play the game. It changes absolutely nothing about the gameplay or the ability to speed quest or level or anything like that, guys. This is purely cosmetic, and it just looks so much better in my opinion. So now, next thing up, we're going to go back to BT4 here, and the next thing for you guys to be looking forward to is keybinding. So keybind, always hit character specific keybinds, and now I can go ahead and do things like turning my heroic strike into, you know, wheel up on the mouse, and that way when I go and attack anything, I can basically just use different keybinds for my moves. And when you finally start your big beautiful journey in the world of Azeroth, you're gonna start, well, if you're undead at least, by coming and picking up your first quest. As you can see, it instantly popped up for me. If I accept this quest, where do I find it next? So if you hit the L button on your keyboard, this is how you'll see it, but it doesn't automatically pop up like Retail WoW for tracking. So if you shift click the quest, well, in this one, there's no objective to track, unfortunately. Alright, so we picked up a quest that we can definitely track. It's the very first quest in the game for the undeads. And if we shift click, you'll clearly see her on the side. Now I can track this. If I want to untrack it, I just shift click it again. Just a quick tip for you guys that may be wondering why you can't track these instead of constantly having to open your quest log. And now I figured I would skip ahead a little bit and show you guys what a more leveled up character actually looks like, and maybe some other tips that I can pass on to you guys on just your journey to success in Classic WoW, because it is not as streamlined as current Retail WoW. So first and foremost, I mentioned that max camera distance. See here, now I can literally look around me in all directions, and I can clearly see different mobs. So one thing you're going to have to watch when playing Classic, guys, is the amount of mobs you're pulling at the same time. Usually 1 for 1 is more than enough to handle, sometimes too much. So it's always better for you guys to try to pick one mob at a time, pull them away from a pack, and it's nice to have that camera distance to be able to see further away. So one of the biggest starting tips I could possibly give you guys is pick up professions that are based around your class fantasy. So in my personal opinion, when I play a mage, a warlock, a priest, etc., I like to take tailoring and enchanting. The reason for being is that tailoring skills will allow you to make certain types of gear that give you many buffs towards your overall stats, just making your experience that much smoother, guys. So the tailoring experience definitely brings together some of the better best in slot pieces you can make. So these spider silk boots, for instance, are probably one of the best in slot boots I can get for a while, and I was able to create those through tailoring. So if you're playing with your friends or even solo, try to save your cloth, try to save certain items in the world that you find that don't look gray, or at least don't look like trash, and I guarantee you eventually they will become useful for something. Now on the terms of enchanting side, being able to buff your stats on your items, giving yourself multiple stamina buffs, show you here, attaching stamina to my bracers. As silly as it is and as small of a health buff as it is, that 30 or so health I just gained can be the difference between life and death in Classic WoW. One of the next best things I could probably tell you filthy casuals is that if this is your first time going through Classic WoW, I will be linking down below a couple of other YouTubers' channels who I think did an absolutely incredible job of introducing the different character classes, their fantasy, their overall strengths and weaknesses, and their viability in the current state of vanilla WoW. If you guys didn't already know this, there will be new iterations coming out as they did back in the day, except they're going to be separated slightly. So at this current iteration of the game, it's nice to know exactly where you place and what your future might look like. So I will be linking those people down below, so you guys can get a much better understanding of what class you want to play and where it's going to take you through the game. A huge aspect of picking my personal favorite class, or at least the class I want to main, or you know, in my case have infinite off specs, for me basically guys, it's a little bit of mobility, a little bit of sustainability, and the ability to pump out some serious deeps in the event that I have to crush some noobs and take their souls in world PvP. So big time for me guys, Priest was a big one. Shadow Priest has insane survivability and also self-reliance. They can double their spirit through spirit tap, which means they're going to be regenerating their health a lot faster. Mages, as you see in front of me here, my main right now, definitely can create their own food and water at basically their whim, whenever they feel like it, anytime, all the time, baby. It's buffet time. So with that said, the mage for me has a ton of slows and CCs. As you can see, the crowd control is insane. I've barely been touched, and I can sit back as much as I need to. But the downturn for this, as every class has its downside, is that I almost have to drink between every single mob pool. But it's a small price to pay. One of my absolute favorite parts, guys, about jumping back into the world of Azeroth for the classic experience is just how immersed in the world you feel. Everything is much bigger, not because the game got bigger, but because you move so fucking slow through the world, and it's awesome. It is absolutely amazing. And if this is something that's going to be a game breaker for you guys, it does get better once you get a mount, or you can try to play a class like Shaman or Druid that have innate movement ability. But outside of that, guys, you're going to be doing a lot of walking, so you will learn to love the world you're in, or you're going back to retail, unfortunately. But I wanted to show you guys these experiences and a little bit of the gameplay here today, so you can get an idea through a casual's eyes whether or not WoW Classic is for you. And melee strike. Oh, he didn't die. That's embarrassing. But yes, so this is basically it, guys. It is a lot slower of an approach. You will become much more in-depth with your character. At least this is my opinion, and shared by quite a lot of other people, as the response to Classic WoW's release has been incredible so far. So what we're going to do here is buff this Shaman. It's the thing to do, guys. It's Classic WoW. It's great to be a friend to people here. Help them out as they help you out. He helped me kill this guy so I wouldn't get beat down, and I'm going to help him in return. Now, a big part of your overall gameplay experience, so you guys get to know this now, don't be shocked when you realize you have to grind mobs. If you've ever played a game like Black Desert Online or old school RuneScape, you will be an absolute veteran to this idea. There are not enough quests in vanilla WoW to get you all the way to level 60, guys, and that's just a fact. You will have to spend a decent amount of time grinding mobs. And that, for some people, is going to be a huge deal breaker. For me, I don't mind because it's an easy way. One, it's easy to relax and get through the content. But two, you will be picking up items to sell for gold. Because by the time you hit level 40, if you're not doing professions, you better have your gold up for your mount, or else you're going to be running for the rest of your days. One final important note I would like to share with you guys before wrapping up this video is when you're doing your quests and when you're killing monsters, try to make sure that the monsters that you're attacking are your level or within at least one level up or down, being able to clear things that are in your own level range. But anyways, rambling on, all you need to do is face things that are around your level, so that way you're getting maximized experience. You can see 189 apiece. And in some cases, you will be grinding a full level just by killing mobs and picking up the loot. So strap yourselves in, boys, get your energy drinks, and enjoy. So to wrap up today's video, guys, I hoped all the small little casual tips that I gave you and some of the gameplay footage, in my opinions, have helped maybe ease your entry into Classic WoW. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content today. I would love to hear from you all in the comments down below if this is something you would like to see more of, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am hook, line, and sinkered, and I will be making much more content towards this game rather than retail just for now. I'm sure eventually I'll be going back, but hopefully you guys are on board for that. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all again very soon.